Hi, this is Geoff Ginter on the floor of the Second International MMT Conference in New York City. I'm here with Pavlina Tcherneva. I call her the goddess of the job guarantee. Pavlina, in the recent panel you just gave, you told an amazing story about visiting Argentina after having heard about the idea of a job guarantee. They went and implemented it on a certain scale, and you saw the effects. I'd like you to talk a little bit about that.
Yes. Basically, we got called in by the economists at the Labor Ministry who listened to some of our talks 3 or 4 years prior and said, look, guys, we just went through this terrible economic crisis. We literally pulled the program off the shelf, and we just, but there was a lot of also popular need. I happened to be in Argentina the day they floated from the currency board just for personal trip, and I watched the people sort of on the streets banging their pots and pans asking for jobs. That was the only thing they asked for. Yeah. Subsequently, fortunately, we were able to go and study some of these projects. So it was very interesting on multiple levels. First, to see how they went about organizing a very large-scale program. We talk about 13% of the labor force, 5% of the population. This is a lot. Yeah. And it was much more than they expected. So in terms of, whenever we are told, we don't have the institutional capacity, there are cases we could look to, even in the development context, how they manage. And then just going and seeing the face of the unemployed, the people who benefited from the program. Yeah. It was very, very, very sort of transformative for me because you read and your intuition tells you that all of these frames about the unemployed and that there are no jobs or useful things to do are wrong. You know it on the intellectual level, but then all you have to do is just go and see it. Yes. And how specifically these communities self-organized, and they had a sort of a very bottom-up approach of proposal that the communities and the organizations will organize. They will propose them to the municipality, the federal government, and they'll get approved. And interestingly, they open up food kitchens, shelters for the for victims of domestic abuse. The more sort of middle-income class neighborhoods that lost, their jobs, they had little, different sort of things like community gardens. They had small little shops, tailor shops. They were more skilled people. So you could see how people created jobs that were precisely fitted to the needs of the unemployed and their skill level. It was done from the ground up, and it had a material impact on the communities. The one that I like to highlight is a community that was called Ciudad Oculta, which means a hidden city. They had been so impoverished, so forgotten by the political economic process that they called themselves the hidden city. Oh my God. And 3 years after I had gone there to look at these projects, we sent a team of graduate students, and the community had changed its name. They called themselves Villa 18. They no longer thought of themselves as invisible. So it was quite important and interesting to see. But yeah, just looking at the reflections of women, that was another highlight of that experience, because women were the largest participants in this program, though it was designed for presumably male heads of households. Yes. And so it had an important positive gender effect.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you so much for your time, Pavlina. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.